we welcome in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Well, there is a definite chill in the Northern California air, Coach, but still a wonderful afternoon for football at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you take a look at these 49ers as they enter play here. They come in off a loss last time out, but they've been playing better than 500 ball the last couple months. 5 wins in their last 8 games. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Seahawks, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point. But, boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This one taken from the 7. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by the man who proclaims to be from a whole pack of Badgers. Came into the league back in 2012, Russell Wilson.
And I'll bet right now there's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game, yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. And we take a look at the offense for the Seahawks.
And they come off a tough loss last week, and what's their reward? A second straight road game. Rarely are teams happy about scheduling. They're always calling the league office saying, how come we have this game and that game? But when you're coming off of a loss on the road and you go right into another one, that's a difficult task.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. And Brate, the tight end's got it. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. A look now at the defensive starting lineup for the 49ers. It's quite a unit, that's for sure. Number 1 in the NFL against the pass.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. This is Carson. The numbers on the ground for Carson last week. 13 carries, 75 yards.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and a coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that. But they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
Now a throw left sideline here is complete. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first. They're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down. He gets it to Humphreys. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. 8th play of this opening drive coming up. This is third down. To throw again is Wilson. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that's going to make it 4th down. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
On comes the Seahawk kicker here on 4th down. It's Jason Myers from the right hash, and this one just a chippy. Myers' kick is good. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. Well, after marching down the field, only getting 3 there, kind of feels like a win for the defense.
And it does. They'll go to the sideline feeling a lot better that they didn't give up a touchdown after the march against them. But if I were the offense, I wouldn't hang my head over that one. That's a good drive, and 3 points were put on the board.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Niners now to get their first drive. And a glance here at their quarterback standing 6'3".
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is. And that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it has permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care. And when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team that wins.
The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. And the starting crew now for San Francisco.
And everyone always tells me the fullback is leaving the game, and then I say, hold on a second. What about Kyle Juszczyk? 2-time Pro Bowler, maybe the best all-around fullback in the game for his ability to block, catch, and occasionally run the football inside.
Now this one complete on the slant route. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 38-yard line.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He'll rifle this into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Trey Flowers picks it, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. From the gun, it's Wilson. And Brate has it over the middle. And he is not going to get to the marker as they stop him short at the 14. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a fourth down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
On fourth down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. The speedster Dante Pettis back deep to return. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. They'll set up to throw. And that will be incomplete. Shaquille Griffin knocking it away that time in coverage.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
So on fourth down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. So here are the Seahawks ready to take over on offense. They lost 2 straight coming in, but good news for them right now. They've got the lead and the football. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. From the shotgun, Wilson. It's caught. Humphreys. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Now it's Carson. Looking for a crease. Can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Now Wilson, and unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a first down. Instead, it's 4th. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
A gain of 10 and a 49er first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
You left me, Jim.
Right back to Coleman here on 1st down. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Man open, it's Goodwin. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. The Niners have the 1st down on a gain of 11. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Looking to complete it to Pettis, and he's got him. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards. That's complete to his receiver, Pettis. And across the track into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Dante Pettis, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the 49ers have now taken the lead. Well, with that touchdown pass, I'm going to bring up a point from earlier in the year. Some of the fans were saying, when do we turn to the rookie? Well, he's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, I love the fact that the fans are bringing that up because I'm not the head coach. Okay, so he's got to deal with it. But I think it's a legitimate question. With the way their season is going, I think now is the time to turn the page and let him get some starts before this season is over.
Gold able to tack on the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. So that a 7-play, 80-yard drive, and it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Chris Carson trotting back out there. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about him.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
A throw left side to start the drive is complete. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson looking middle, and that's complete. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Now it's Wilson. That's complete into the hands of Carson.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play, a one-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those too.
Pass caught left side by Humphries. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. Throwing again here, Wilson. And he will find his man on the outside. And the 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Tackle. Take 4.
Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And that's not going to get it done. He'll come up well short of the first at about the 21. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Tyler Lockett trotting onto the field, getting set for this next drive. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And you know the guys on defense are aware as well. And they're really excited that he has no catches, but they're also worried because a lot of times that's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game. A tackle that time by Akello Witherspoon. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sport. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this 3rd quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
They'll drop the throw. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Here comes the 49ers punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Oh, the Seahawks come after it, and they block it. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. And it's a Seattle Seahawks touchdown.
Partners, you well know every block punt wasn't necessarily a called block. Sometimes the guy just finds his way back there. Doesn't matter. The play happens, and that one turned into 6 points because they handled it so well after the block.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. Able to get the pressure, get a paw on it, knock it down, and then go and grab it and take it into the end zone. What a play. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10.
8, read. Check, walk 54, walk 54. Watch.
And the drive starts with a handoff to Coleman. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the second half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down.
What you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Give me something.
They'll look to throw here. Open man is Pettis. It's complete. 13 yards there and a Niner first.
But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the number 1 receiver double covered. But how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a 1st down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here.
Yeah, anything. Change it up because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
On 2nd down, it's Coleman, and this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Got his target, Samuel. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll run with Coleman on 1st down. The tackle made by K.J. Wright. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. 2nd down, McKinnon. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Give credit to K.J. Wright. He was disrupting defensively.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Here comes the 49ers punter now. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
The Seahawks on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
Nick Bosa, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
Now here's Michael Dixon as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field.
These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
6 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd down.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. On the draw play, Coleman. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
The Niners on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1.
Oh, and the hard count might have got him. This might be a first down. A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get-off on the snap, jump too quickly.
So forget the 3 and out. The penalty makes this 1st and 10. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. He'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. That's complete to a speedy wideout Goodwin. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. 23 yards on the play. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
How about the defensive effort from both of these teams that we've seen in this game?
Would you say it's like a high-stakes chess match right now?
Chess is one way to go. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, the only reason I say that, you feel like they're contemplating their moves before actually making one, and none of them being done very confidently.
Truth be told, I've never played chess, and I know that I'm not smart enough to play chess. Guys like you with your IQ, you can pull that off.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
He's coming. Ready.
They will run again with Coleman. And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the first, right around the 15.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal.
Check the outreach.
Now McKinnon. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Jerick McKinnon. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And once again, the 49ers are back out in front.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. Gold with the extra point, and the lead is now 14-10. So this drive spans 7 plays, and the capper that put it in the end zone, a run of 8 yards. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. A field goal does him no good. They need a touchdown.
And right now, in his mind, in his memory bank, he's drawing on times that he's done this before. Not necessarily in the NFL. College, high school, pee-wee ball, wherever. Anything positive that he remembers about taking a team downfield with a chance to win, he's going to draw on that for this drive.
I'm sure that these guys live for these moments. Here we go. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Check, walk 54, walk 54. You don't want none, baby. You don't want none.
Here's Wilson to throw. And Brate, the tight end's got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position. Everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner. With good timing, you get a completion, as we just saw there.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Here's Wilson. He gets it to Humphreys. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Back to throw. And Brate has it over the middle. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. He's back to throw. Oh, no, he lost the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
Well, that simply is a missed opportunity. They're in position. If they take the ball downfield and score, they've got a chance to win the game. Instead, they cough it up. I don't think next week at practice is going to be a whole lot of fun for him.
On the other side, no bigger time to force a turnover when you've got that small lead.
Yeah, and when you look at it from the offense's perspective, taking care of the ball is so important. I know they're going to have all kind of ball security drills in practice all next week.
They begin the drive with Coleman. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll keep it on the ground. Coleman, he'll have a 1st down past the 40, and he'll take it to the 43-yard line. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give them 7 there on the first down carry. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. So here we go, Charles, 3rd down. Any chance you're throwing?
I don't think so. I think you got to keep the clock rolling here.
One final kneel down here as it comes inside the 40-second mark, and that should be enough to put this one on ice. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the 49ers, it's an important win in terms of staying in the postseason race as they move to 6-4. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for Seattle,